Doot, 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 doot. That's our jam. That's our jam. Woo! Yes, so exciting. Yeah. Woo! Season 27. Half of RX for Love. 50% of RX for Love. Yes. Well, I started a new job, so I get to travel every week because after the race, I contracted a travel bug and have to go somewhere. So I work for a medical device company now as a nurse educator. So I educate medical professionals on how to use our products. Uh oh. Uh oh. We're still rolling. And so I travel and I hang out. And that's pretty much my life. Fix our troubles, settings. Oh, he knows it. That sounds technical. I I'm not good at stuff like that. I'm like, how do you dial a number? 1 minute. We're good. I'm not that entertaining. I'm not that entertaining at all, unfortunately. I'm pretty boring. I need Blair. It's like we're like entertaining together. It's like 100%. I can't just be the 50. He's the one with the like wisecracks and the jokes. And I'm just the one that's like, Blair, Blair. So I need him. I can pretend like he's here. Right. I can hear you. I can hear you guys. I wish. Oh, no, you're fine.
But I don't know if we can do that because it's an event.
Oh.
An event. Nice. Fancy event.
All right. Now, can somebody in the live chat give us a confirmation?
Can you give us the fill okay?
Can someone give us the clue, please?
We back.
All right. I think we're good.
Let's start all over.
Hey, all right, Haley, could you do us a favor and move your camera up a little higher? Perfect. If you can keep your arms there for the next 30 minutes. That's a perfect shot.
All right, Haley, do your Amazing Race theme song again so we can start over.
Alrighty. All right. Welcome to the pit stop with Team Truck Stop Love. I'm Mike. This is Rochelle. And we were on season 26 of The Amazing Race with
the one and only
Haley.
The one and only Haley. And we've gotten through many technical difficulties. It is 10:45 Eastern time. We were supposed to start at 10:30. People have just heard.
Than never.
Exactly. So we're here. We're live as it can get. And we're going to be recapping The Amazing Race, Season 27, Episode 1.
Yes.
Woo!
It was a good episode, and I guess now we can officially be like, Haley, what have you been up to, first and foremost?
When we go back in the race, all I want to do is travel. I'm like, I can't sit here. I have to go to an airport. Even if I could just go anywhere, I'll go. So I got a job as a product educator, clinical nurse educator with a medical device company. So every week I travel and then I go educate nurses on our products. So it's a pretty cool job. I enjoy it.
I actually remember hearing you say on the race that was something that was kind of your dream job, and I'm super happy for you that you actually reached that. Do you run through the airports with your backpack?
You're still going.
See, everyone, I had to go on this 10-day trip, and all I took was a carry-on. And everyone's like, you didn't check a bag? I'm like, no.
No.
Yeah.
It's just a backpack if I have to. Try me.
Exactly. Once you're on the Amazing Race. So did you watch the premiere episode of season 27 tonight?
Of course I did. I loved it.
You
loved it. It was awesome.
Did you have flashbacks?
Yeah.
We had so many.
I specifically, when they were like running on the beach, I just remembered
us
running down the beach, getting to the mud run, and then that's when the true RX for Love and Truck Stop Love bond formed.
It was.
It was right at the start.
We didn't quite nail the mud run. And then
We sucked at the mud run.
2 legs of the struggle plane.
Well, season 27, they don't even get a mud run. Phil's like, go. Oh, there's taxis, guys. Go get in the taxis.
Like, we were driving through LA and, like, the worst traffic. I mean...
Soaking wet, dirty, picking stuff out. And then when you think about it, we didn't get to take a shower until we got to the porn house 3 days later.
I know.
Yeah. You elaborate on the porn house. I don't know if many people know about the porn house.
Well, when we get to Tokyo, we go to this building, and I'm thinking, this is going to be an awesome hotel. Maybe it's like one of those little micro hotels that they have, or like little coffin hotels. And I distinctly remember going in, and I'm looking around on the bookshelves. I'm like, are those naked cartoons? It's like anime porn. And then I look around, and there's people in those. Well, and then we go downstairs. They take you down to your room, which is a cubicle.
And then there was those phone booths, right?
Yes. There's like telephone booth, sex phone booth, and then we were there. And then I remember our camera guy that like was stuck right next to like the case of like DVDs, and like all night people were just like in and out. Not any of us, obviously, but the actual clients there, or guests, or whatever they were, there. And they had that one overflowing shower that we all had to
Oh, it was disgusting. That was so bad.
I remember Mike drank the fountain pop there.
Oh, they had like 26 different fountain pops. It was just so. It was delicious. It was great.
I couldn't bring myself to touch anything in there.
No, I drank the fountain pops. I took a shower and there was water up to my ankles that was cloudy, and I just enjoyed it.
Filth, yeah. 3 days worth of filth.
Yeah.
People in bed, yeah.
They had gray hamburgers from McDonald's from breakfast. I ate like 3 of them.
I had like a biscuit with like some really strong ketchup on it. That's what I ate. I was just like, oh, I couldn't do it. I was just like, I think I'll just go hungry.
No. Japan was awesome.
I think the start of their leg was definitely a lot easier than ours.
Yeah, I wrote notes. We got notes on this.
Oh, good.
So
I memory, because I watched it and I was like, oh, I would have rather done the bike than the mud run.
No, me too.
Yeah. They, go get a taxi, go on a bike, and then you find Phil on this other side of the harbor, and you get your clue, and there's only one pair of seats for the first flight, which was, that's.
We have to get into that too, because that was a crazy.
That was a crazy thing. Let's talk about that actually.
Yeah.
So the green team was the first team to get that first flight out, and actually Amy from the Sweet Scientists. Hey, she actually tweeted something that I thought was really, I agreed with. If you're a team on the first leg of the race, do you want to be the one team that's only a half hour ahead? Or do you want to be on that second flight when you're on a group?
Yes.
That's not really an advantage coming into the first leg to be singled out like that.
The pack.
Yeah.
I'd rather be with the pack than way out ahead, or at least with another team or two.
And with a half hour gap, you're not really gaining that much advantage.
No. Clearly, because then you can make that bad decision. Which, I probably would have went for the fast forward, but then I wonder how long they actually stayed there before they. You know what I mean? Did they stay for 20 minutes to see if the wind was going to get better, or was it?
Yeah, it's hard to tell.
Yeah. Well, I guess they flew. We didn't really say they flew to. They had to fly to Rio de Janeiro, Brazil.
Yeah.
And that was where the first leg of the race is going to go. And they find out that the first flight that was 30 minutes ahead was delayed by 20 minutes, and the second flight was 5 minutes early. So that everybody ended up being pretty much neck and neck.
Yeah.
So that was wild. That's the luck of the planes that in the Amazing Race, the luck of the flights. You never know what's going to happen, and
That's why
perfect
you want
example.
to be with the pack, though.
You guys in Monaco.
Yeah, exactly. That's a huge part of the game that you can't control the flights.
No.
If a flight needs to fill up for gas, and when we got back from the race, our first flight back, we were delayed by hours because it was.
Once we got into America.
I'm like, if this would have happened on the race, we'd have been easily out.
Yeah.
So the flight game's a huge risk factor, and showed it there.
When we went from Peru to Dallas, remember the runway closed down because we missed it by 3 minutes? So
Yeah.
we had to wait another 5 hours.
Yes.
So that's just how it's luck of the draw.
That's how the cookie crumbles on the Amazing Race.
So the teams get off the flights.
Yeah.
And then there's a fast forward. And Justin and Diana, the green team, decide to take the fast forward, which I would personally have wanted to do. I mean, it's a fast forward on the first leg. You want to come out with a big impression.
But why? I don't. At the same time, it's the first leg. I think when you're in the race and it gets down to 5 teams, maybe then you want to take that chance. But when there's so many teams that you can lose to, that you can get ahead, it's a really, really ballsy move to take that fast forward.
You have a 1 in 11 chance of still making it. So it's as long as you're ahead of one team even, it's okay. Because that's the thing, you can get really easily tied up on stuff that you think is going to be quicker, that. And then look what happened. They get there and they came and do it. So it's always just luck of the draw.
Yeah, another risk of the race was just the weather was too bad, and there's no control over it. I felt really bad for him. I
love them too. It's oh.
He's so emotional.
You know what though? I think
about the race.
I like that emotion though. I don't.
You.
I'm so emotional. I can relate. When you really are into something, at least it's not cold. At least he's not like the Team TMZ who's just I'd rather see someone cry than someone cold-hearted. And you can see his passion.
Exactly.
Yeah, and the thing that I really like about the green team is they're super fans of the Amazing Race, and I'm a big fan of Big Brother, and I watch Survivor and stuff, and I know they always play up the super fan aspect, and it's never really done on the Amazing Race to the extent of these guys love the Amazing Race, so it's really cool to have that.
They have such a great fan base of super fans, so it's so awesome to finally see true super fans getting to live their dream on there. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Imagine how ecstatic they were to get that call, oh my god.
Yeah,
it's so surreal to them. It's finally happening.
You were going to be in the race.
No, it's really cool.
They're sweet.
And then they they had to take a helicopter, a ride around the what is it? I didn't name of the island or whatever, but.
This is when Mike tries to pronounce Namibia.
Namibia.
We're gonna get a lot of shade for this, but.
But no, there was. I mean, I didn't take the note, but they had to go around in Rio de Janeiro and on the helicopter, and they had to pay attention. That's the big part of the race, and they started them out early. It's pay attention to detail, and you have to answer a question that we're not going to tell you anything about.
I have to say, I don't know anything about paying attention when you're rappelling or anything.
No, that's.
Is that the tower?
You're yeah, that's it. I know.
What am I paying attention to?
Yeah, that's a big key, and it seems like everybody, seemed to do fairly well on it and pay attention. And from there, they got their next clue, and they got to choose. It was the detour. Go to the detour, and they had sand on one side, which was play foot volley against professionals.
That's crazy.
They were amazing. I want to see them on the Amazing Race.
Volleyball and soccer mixed in one, and then they were like heads or bodies.
In their chest, yeah.
That was crazy.
And they had to score 6 points, and they could use their hands, like in traditional volleyball.
Like actual volleyball, right.
And before the pros scored 18. And then on the other side of the detour was a giant puzzle on the sidewalk. It was called Sidewalk. So sand or sidewalk, a puzzle, or volleyball on the beach. What would you have chose?
I think I would have went with the volleyball because I played volleyball in high school and like for fun in college. So I think I would have been okay with the volleyball. What about you guys?
I don't know. I would have been freaking out the whole entire time because I was in a white fucking bikini. Like, I wouldn't have been able to think. Me and Mike and those outfits would have been horrible.
Oh, I would have rocked the short shorts.
Yeah, you would look pretty hot.
I would have asked for a tighter pair.
I'm so pale that it would have, like, was not... oh, my God. I would have looked like a dough or something.
Did you see the mom in the pink team though? Like, she looks hot in a freaking bikini.
And then she put her little lipstick on and everything.
Oh yeah, she's adorable. I love them.
I like her.
Yeah, that team's awesome. They have a great dynamic.
They actually remind me of Margie
Lou.
Yeah, like one of like my favorite teams of the race. They're kind of like a clone of them, I think. So I'm excited to watch them.
Yeah, I think they're going to provide some really, really funny moments along the way.
She was like, they were like yelling at each other or something, or they're getting feisty with each other.
Yeah, I can't wait.
I like it. Let's do it.
Bring it on.
Another team that I like too is, well, actually, I mean, all the teams I really like. I wasn't a huge fan of Team TMZ, but I mean, spoiler alert, we don't really have to worry about them. Oh man.
It's not like, I'm sure they're really like nice people, but I think part of the reason I don't like them is because I'm just not into like TMZ. Like they just sit around and like trash talk.
Didn't they throw some shade on Jeff?
They did. So we know Jeff from Team JJ was on Big Brother this past season, and they were saying about him being inappropriate in a bed in the house, and it was like a big TMZ production, which it wasn't even true. And so it was kind of like, for me, like I think I already had this predisposition of not liking TMZ because of that. So then it was like kind of like, oh, karma, sorry, you wanted to trash talk one of our TAR family members.
Yeah.
That's the only team I really wouldn't feel bad talking shit about. Like, I know what it's like to be in the race, and I know like how stressful it is, and I know what it's like to have everybody judge every single fucking thing you do. So like I have a lot of like compassion for these teams, like even in the worst situations when they're fighting, like I get it. But that team is the only team I would not feel bad being like, you know.
Oh. Say
well, not to mention when they were like talking about the cheerleaders, they're like super pretty girls, but they're so sweet and they are cheerleaders. But Krista has a master's degree and she's a speech language pathologist, and Tiffany has a really good career too. So it's like, yeah, they're not idiots just because they're pretty and peppy. They're not idiots.
No, so. They're not.
And they beat you in a puzzle.
And that was my favorite part actually tonight, is when they were sitting there and like I love how I think like the clips they showed were in their like when they're filming the introductions, but still they like flash like have them talking shit about them, and then they beat them instantly like in a puzzle. It was amazing.
Yeah, I like enough about them. I don't even.
Yeah. We gave them their 15 seconds of fame. We're done.
Yes. I like the dancers. I think they're going to have some great one-liners this season. They seem like funny guys. They have the underdog story, which we had on the race, where it's the money would really, really help you.
Yeah.
And the poor people.
And the cousins seem fun. Like when one was scared to death in the helicopter and the other one was laughing at him. Like these guys.
I was actually really impressed with their volleyball too. Like they are so short, and like.
One was like a wrestler in high school and stuff. They look like they're really they look like they're going to be really competitive.
No, I'm excited to watch them this season for sure.
Yeah, they're going to be fun for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they did the volleyball. A lot of the teams realized that the volleyball ended up being easier. It seemed people were struggling on the puzzle, and I think initially we would have chosen the puzzle, because it's like, all right, we're going to play volleyball against pros.
You know what I don't get, though? Like, in our first episode, like, they kind of had it easy. Like, you could see the volleyball nets, like, down the beach right there.
Yeah.
And the puzzle was right there. It's so easy to switch if it's not working out.
Ours was far away.
No, I know. So, like, we're in a dance for 4 hours, but we don't know how far it is to go to the next one, So it would have been a lot easier to switch if we were in that situation.
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 Well, Tanner and Josh, apparently they don't have jobs. They're just good looking. That's all. That's their whole.
No, I talked to I message everyone on Facebook and welcome to this party. I think they do medical sales too or something.
Oh.
I thought about this anyway. But
Okay.
they are. Whew, there's some good looking guys.
I'm assuming there's going to be some type of situation between them and the cheerleaders down the line.
They make cute couples.
I think that's going to happen. Jasmine and Danielle, they also.
Oh, God.
They were great at the volleyball. They went in, got out. The puzzle, everybody seemed to struggle. Denise and James Earl, the mother and son, they did pretty good. They ended up, rocking out the puzzle. Team TMZ had the worst time with the puzzle.
3 hours and 45 minutes.
It was insane.
I kind of wanted to see him keep going, though, so I could just hate on him.
It was like with Phil showing up in the first the first episode. Phil's already having to go to the location.
Yeah, that was
like a reminiscent moment of Kurt.
Bergen and Kurt, I know.
But they had been going. They just didn't know how to drive stick.
that was their
issue.
Hey, I don't. No comment.
Yeah, we're not gonna talk shade on the stick driving, but.
So,
Let me drive. I
What?
took lessons beforehand.
We did too with one of my friends, but
I want to show off my manual transmission skills.
did you actually? Are you practicing again when you go to Africa?
Yeah, I have to because it's going to be a manual transmission vehicle only. But it's funny because I have all these rewards points from work because I rent a car every week. So I'm using my rewards points and I just booked it and then I get the confirmation. I'm like, maybe I just want to Uber around or something. Manual transmission is on the other side of the road and the car's backwards too. Remember when we were
Hey, Blair dealt with that the entire leg of Africa. You gave him no credit.
It was a 3-hour drive.
I remember actually rewatching the season. I'm like, how can she hate on Blair right now? Because Mike can't even drive a stick.
Thanks.
You guys are still there. I'm like, what are they doing? He's not in.
A lot of people on the live chat are. Excuse me.
Excuse me.
A lot of people on the live chat are chiming in on the. It looks like a lot of people want to do the volleyball. We have one person saying they would have done the puzzle. Yeah, keep that going. What would you do?
People are loving the dancers and the cousins on the live chat too. Shout out to Lisa Murphy. Thank you for chatting with us tonight.
I want the dancers to give me private lessons. Because break it down, white girl.
No, that's one thing. It's if we ever went on the race again, it would be probably that first we'd learn how to drive a fucking stick. But secondly, it would be to learn dance lessons and learn how to do choreography like that. So
yes,
they have an advantage.
There's one actually. If you looked at the what is it? The kind of the press release when they gave away some of the detours and roadblocks they're going to be doing. One of them is rapping with a rapper in Paris, which I would have had a blast with.
Did you know he has a rap album? Let's just talk about this for a second. He has a rap album. We have 300 vinyl. I'll send you one in the mail, actually, Haley. I will. And it's he has pressed vinyl of his rap career on, yeah.
Yeah, that wasn't showcased on The Amazing Race.
Yeah, he would have killed it. He's good.
What are your songs about? Is it I'm about to drop the beat.
No, it's nothing like that.
Stop.
But I mean, if we were doing a rap in Paris with as a detour, oh my gosh, man, I would have had so much fun. I'm gonna be jealous.
Did you guys ever hear the rap song I wrote for Blair?
No, let's perform it live.
Are you ready?
Yes.
My name is Blair and I live on a boat. I wear a red coat. I'm gonna milk a goat. I'm gonna put some groceries in my tote. Now I'm gonna swim across the boat.
I have heard that. When did you sing that to me? It had to have been like in the airport.
My name is Blair and I live on a boat.
Well, let's talk about Blair. How are you and Blair doing as friends?
He's my friend. He's not my, despite what everyone else in the world wants. Blair is not my boyfriend. He's one of my best friends. So anything that any big life decisions or anything that goes on, I'll call him and consult. I'm like, hi, I have to talk to you about this. What do you think about this? What do you think about that? So I haven't seen him in a while, so I want to see him soon. We're both just so busy that it's hard because he's all over the place, always traveling around and doing stuff with Nadine, and I'm always busy with work. But I want to see him soon because we have so much fun together.
So your relationship's a lot better when it's not under stress.
It's a lot better when we weren't forced to be with each other.
Hang out with Blair in his red coat for 21 days.
No, there was times we were in the airport and honestly I heard you vent a lot in the airport. It's that was that pretty much took up all of my time in the airports was listening to you bitch about Blair. But there was this one time I think we were in Africa and he was wearing that red swishy coat. And you're you come up to a whole group of us and you're like, I just can't stand it anymore. Shh, shh, shh.
Every time he would move, it's and I know when he was stopping because I would hear it stop. And then he turned, it's and then he wore that in Africa because they're wear long sleeves and he didn't have any other long sleeves to wear, so he didn't get bit by the bugs and stuff. And so then he's like, oh, it's hot. And I'm like, because you're wearing the ski jacket. You're wearing a ski jacket in the middle of Africa. I wanted the red coat to just go away. It finally, I asked him about it. I ask him about it often. It finally got ruined, so.
Aww.
Have to get him a new one.
I'm gonna get you one for Christmas.
I was at the North Face store and I saw one and I thought about getting it for him, and then I was like,
no.
Oh.
Race again, then he's gonna bring that.
Spanky Hot Dog in the live chat says he wants to see you and Blair on Big Brother, like Jeff and Jackie were.
I actually, I love Jeff and Jackie, but I think that you and Blair would have been freaking hilarious in Big Brother.
Oh man.
We probably would have been a tough alliance. It was funny because there's things that, I don't know, we would just figure out and we'd just be okay, we just know it. We don't have to say it, but people would underestimate us. And then we just sit there and be yep. In the episode, with the hot tub, when we were just we pretend we didn't know either. We're oh, we've had that puzzle figured out. Peace out.
Yeah.
But it's believable, especially for me, because I can be I don't know.
No, you would be. I would love to see you on Big Brother.
I want to see you on Survivor.
Survivor, yeah. I want to see you on Survivor with Blair in his red track coat, please.
We can make a tent out of the red jacket.
There you go. That's an easy way to do it.
But back to this season, we are kind of off task here.
Oh, yeah, we get off
back
track.
to the Amazing Race 7.
Closing out.
One of the biggest thing I remember of this episode too, and we were talking about it earlier, why we were having technical difficulties, was how the green team lost all of their money.
Yeah. I don't know if it's because, okay, I have two theories, maybe three. My first theory is they didn't know how to budget it yet, and they had a feast in the airport, fine dining.
Some fancy drinks.
Some steaks.
Yeah. Blair and I are splitting a hot dog with each other, and drinking water out of a water fountain. But maybe they spent it all on food or something, or maybe because they went to the other place first, the fast forward. Maybe that was far away and they spent.
It could have been, yeah.
Or maybe they got ripped off because it is really easy when you're in a place like that just kind of like rip you off. Like we got ripped off. And
You did?
Yeah, we were in that Tuk Tuk, and we spent like all of our money in it.
Oh, or they charge you more. Yeah.
And you don't want to negotiate. You're just like, shut up, and you throw money
Just
at them.
like, go!
And we're like rummaging through the fanny, like, oh my god, what do we have in here? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I know. Mike and I were super, like, very, very good with our money. The only thing we spent it on was literally, like, beer. And like, we didn't eat, but we drank everywhere we went. But.
Yeah, drink all the way around the world.
They could have, like, a bottle of wine, and Blair and I are sitting there eating, like, different plain snacks, like, strapped in our fanny packs.
Hey, it helped our mental state, all right?
PT Dagger on the live chat wants to know if the blind date concept on The Amazing Race is worth repeating. What do you think, as a blind dater?
For entertainment's sake, yes.
For love's sake, probably not.
To find your soulmate, no.
No. Actually, I interviewed Phil on my radio show yesterday. Not my radio show, but a radio show I'm producing, and he flat out said, he was like, Mike can agree with me, the blind date concept sucked. We cannot find love. And, I agree with Phil, that was the thing, is the blind date didn't work, but I would like to see another season where it's like two strangers, but not trying to push love on them. Like, maybe an old person, young person, or, stuff like that. A really in shape person and an out of shape person, rich and poor. Like, that would be awesome. So
Jeff and Jackie hit it off, though. So
yeah, they had a.
So it wasn't like a complete fail, I guess, but I mean, I found a good friend out of the deal.
Exactly, yeah. Like the Amazing Race, they sucked at trying to find love, but they did a really good job at making new friendships. So
yes,
kudos to them.
And as someone who like has taken kind of like hate in the media and stuff, or with not like whatever,
with crazy people.
Yeah, with crazy people. What would be your advice to these next racers that may experience something like that?
Oh, I found that a lot of it is just like jealousy, because these people are writing me like messages, and it's like, I don't know, like here's one that like really sticks out in my mind. There's this man, and he was just like the creepiest looking person ever. Like you, it was like creepy, and he's like, people like you are the ones that like reject people like me, and we have good hearts and blah blah, and like you just can't you can't take anything that these people say. They don't know you. They know you from a TV show, so it's like they don't really know you. They see like seconds of your life essentially,
and seconds of hours of footage too.
Yeah, hours and hours and hours. Yeah, and it's funny because like they don't really know you, and they just are so quick to just like say whatever they want to say, do whatever, and I'm just like, hate on haters. I got to do the race. I got to be with awesome people, and I made a ton of awesome friends. And I'm happy with my life. And I'm sorry that you're sitting behind a computer and not tweeting me constantly or like sending me crazy messages. Like, if that makes you feel better, by all means.
Go ahead and
go, girl. No, like honestly, I feel like you are one of the most like misunderstood people of our last season, and you've been one of our closest friends on the season, and it was really, like, it was hard to see people say, like, rude things about you when you're such a sweet person. So.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. I mean, you get the curse of the bad edit, and it happens to not to everybody, it happens every season. But now you have, now you're on the Pit Stop podcast, and you can let the world know how you really are.
Yeah.
You can.
But it's funny, too, because it's like, and I wouldn't get mad when people said stuff about me. I get more mad when they said stuff about, like, other people. Like, I'll never forget the one day, like, somebody was, like, talking to Rochelle, saying she's, like, a bad girlfriend. I was like, you
on Instagram.
I paragraphs. Like, excuse me. That's one of my best friends. You get out of here,
No, that's why you're my girl, yeah.
Like, yeah, it made me more mad when they said stuff about other people, because I'm like, you don't, like, make or break me. And it's funny, because I'll actually, like, anyone that's ever approached me, I get approached a lot, like, people recognize me and stuff. They're always, like, so positive and everything. And also, too, like, when I was working in peds in the ER, I would get girls and, like, boys all the time time, like, especially teenage ones that were, like, bullied and stuff, and they're, like, they would come in because it would make them, like, sick, and they didn't want to be at school, you know? So it made me a better nurse, because I was like, do you want to see stuff people say about me? Because...
No. No, that's awesome.
People talk about it, I'm like, yeah, and I'm fine with it. And they're like, oh. They're like, so what do you do? I'm like, you just let them get it out. Let them say what they want, and then, like, read it and, like, get a good laugh out of it. Like, some of this stuff's kind of funny. Like, one time, I forget what the hashtag was. Something like zip it bimbo or something. And I was like, I'm gonna start using that.
Zip it bimbo.
Can we used to say hashtag Team TMZ. Zip it bimbo.
That's probably, they probably, like, said that about me. I was like, oh. And that's the thing, like, when I was first watching it, I was, like, trying to relate that to, like, an edit, but then I was like, but wait a minute, they're on TMZ, like, that's what they do.
Yeah.
They talk mean about people all the time, like, that's their job. That's their job to do that, so it's like, blah.
All right, I guess we're jumping back and forth, so, but this is how the podcast is going to be, back and forth, back and forth. Anything else on your end about tonight's episode?
I honestly like all the teams. I'm really excited to see some of
Me too.
these people just, like, go through the journey together. And I guess the one team I didn't like was out tonight.
Yes,
I got chills when they were in the helicopter ride. Like, it was gorgeous. And
did it make you think of Monaco?
Monaco, yeah. It was like a flashback. And it was weird kind of viewing the episode, knowing how it's, like, produced and how it works. So, like, I don't know, it was definitely gave me, like, flashbacks of being there. So it was really fun to see.
Our first season watching instead of being on that.
Instead of, like, and now it's kind of weird because it's like, I feel like I know, like, the behind the scenes a little bit.
Yeah.
So, like, oh, I wonder how long that really, or I wonder if, you know.
Yeah.
And then it was, like, other things too, like, oh, I wonder who their camera and sound people were this, like.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
I didn't think of that, but I was like, I wonder who they were teamed up with. Yeah.
They were running around. And I wonder how long, too, because from LAX, it looked like they had a layover in Miami and then went there. Mm-hmm. So I wonder how, like, because when we went from LAX to Japan, it was 3 days later. And then we, like, with the time changes and stuff, then we, like, skipped Thursday or something. Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
Like, missed a day. So I wonder how long it had been, too. Because that's something that, like, you know, you don't see unless you have been on the show. Like, they could have been up by that point and not have slept in a bed for, like, 3 days by that point.
Exactly.
No,
you never know.
You don't really understand, like, the timeline of things when you're watching it.
Not at all.
Like, what we've seen today probably was, like, a 2 or 3 day span, you know, and they just edited it down to, like, 45 minutes worth of time, and, you know. But to end the episode of The Amazing Race tonight...
We really didn't talk much about the episode.
We give people... We recap the important parts, and we give people they can watch it.
About the placement. The placement went pretty well, like, how everyone placed.
Yes.
I expected the, like, Texas studs to get first, even when they were last, like...
The thing I want to talk about them getting first, is the Express Pass and the new rules with the Express Pass.
Oh, yeah.
What was it?
They have to use it by the 5th leg this season.
Oh.
And then when they use it, they have to pass it off to another team after they use it. And that team has to use it in the next leg.
That's amazing, by the way.
That is.
So we're going to get back-to-back Express Pass legs. You know, if they use it next week and pass it off to a team, they have to use it on the 3rd leg. So that's going to be very interesting to see.
We would have passed it off to you guys, by the way.
We passed it to you. You guys feature Jeff and Lyda, you terrible, terrible people.
Oh, yeah.
Wait, this is a good one, and it made me so mad, because the whole, I know the background of the truck stop. Like, you trailer truck trash.
You're just going to spend more money on tattoos and beer.
Yeah, we got that one. You're just going to spend your money on tattoos and beer.
You know it.
That's priceless.
And then, I mean, the green team hung in there. They were looking like they were going to be eliminated. They hung in there to race another day. Oh, yeah, they're a great team. They know exactly what they're doing. That's why they win the Emmys on The Amazing Race.
You know what, though? The green team did say something, and when they said it, me and Mike, like, looked at each other, and they said, "We're not going to make a stupid mistake like that again." And I wonder if that's foreshadowing.
Foreshadowing.
Yeah.
That's gotta be, because that's how it always was.
Oh yeah.
Fun little things, and then you would see it.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, and every team on our season, they did something like that with. I know, ours was always like, oh, we're gonna get eliminated, but we're hanging in there. They keep us, and then
you can't kill us.
Yeah, like for you, like
broke down with the flat tire in Peru.
Yeah, and we kept going.
Excuse me.
And then for you guys, like what they did is they had you getting after Blair, showing you, Blair, come on, listen to me, and then in the final episode, well, in the final episode, when you couldn't see, when you were rappelling on the tower, it switched around. So they knew they were building up to that point, and that's what The Amazing Race is so good at, is telling stories. And it is reality TV, but they can build an awesome story around what's really happening.
The storylines are fabulous on the show. They really are. Just how things develop throughout. So. That is why they win. I was sad that they didn't win the Emmy this year, though. Against The Voice.
Didn't they win one, though? They won,
I don't know. I heard they lost against The Voice.
Best competition.
They did. And I honestly, The Voice. You cannot compare The Voice to The Amazing Race. And, the crew of The Amazing Race, sprinting down the streets. I have never been so impressed by something in my entire life than to see the camera crews and the way they work.
And even Bertram, our producer, how involved he is. Him, Bill, Elise, just every single person involved with it is so involved, and
And how old is Bertram?
Bertram is pretty much the coolest person in the entire world.
But how old is he?
Oh, how old is he? Yeah,
he is cool. I will give him that.
What?
He's pretty old, and
well, he's pretty old.
But it's a compliment the way I'm trying to say it. It's amazing how active he is and how involved he is with the show.
You don't get it, producers that are our age don't even go out, he is, I think he's probably in his 70s, I'm assuming.
Yeah, I think he is in his 70s, but you would never know, he's so active.
Yeah, and he's out in Africa wearing these big coats and scarves and being bundled up.
And then there's times when you're you don't even know when he's gonna pop up, and you're in the middle of a challenge, and he's filming you and asking you questions so how does it rig? And you're wow,
He's very encouraging on the ice skating challenge when I kept falling and screwing up. He's like, oh, here you go, have a Gatorade, drink a Gatorade, you're so close, keep going. He's really encouraging. Bertram, I'm going to die on The Amazing Race. That won't win an Emmy.
Fabulous. Exactly. He's let me keep you hydrated so we can get going.
But
don't get injured, okay?
Yeah, just don't get hurt. We want to keep you on here.
It doesn't make the show very good.
I guess to end the final cap on.
I don't want to stop.
Well, we're good. We got a couple more minutes with Hayley, but the episode Team TMZ was eliminated from the race. Phil had to come to them, as you said. Phil came to the detour when they were still doing the puzzle, and I think they got the puzzle.
5 minutes later.
And he was like, "Yeah, you're done. Sorry," and they knew. They're like, "We're gonna go back to work, and we're gonna get made fun of." So. They knew. And there's no, if you're eliminated on the first leg, we get it. But Phil came to them, so I think, it's going to be, all bets are off. Harvey Levin's going to get the best of them and tell him what's up.
Oh, yeah.
You made fun of Jeff on Big Brother? We're making fun of you now.
We're making fun of you.
The first leg. Your people can't even make it to the mat. Do not hate on our TAR family ever again, okay?
There you go.
Yeah.
I guess what we can do maybe to wrap up the last couple minutes with you is if anybody in the live chat has questions, boom, hit them up.
We have a live chatter that says Bertram is 75 years old according to Wikipedia. Thank you for that information.
I thought he was 74-ish or something, but he was the producer of Cops.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's insane. I love that show. I told him that one time, I was like, in my single days, I will sit on the couch and eat some white cheddar popcorn in my underwear and watch Pop reruns. Not even kidding. Sadly, that's an event that it was going on. I'm how many times can I watch these episodes? But I feel like there's so many that I don't really see a whole lot of reruns. So
Cops is
it
I'm too far in.
Yeah, exactly.
And then you have the question about the weird message.
Oh, we were like trying to think of questions to ask you. And one of my favorite things about you is when I get this random text message. I'm like in the middle of work, maybe in like a business meeting, and I get this Hayley message, and I was like, "Look at this weird message I've got." What is the weirdest message that you've gotten from a fan?
I get some really creepy ones, and some of them it's just like I try to decipher what they're even like saying. But I think the creepiest was it was from a female, and she would send me like, and I felt bad because I think she has to have like something wrong with her. But she would send me these very long messages, and it was like these descriptions of things that she's like, I would like to go and start a camp with you, and then she's like, she's from somewhere else. She's not from America. I think she's from Australia or something. And then some of the stuff I was like, what does this even mean? She's like, we could biscuit around on a speedboat. I'm like, what does that mean?
Biscuit? Wait, biscuit around?
Yeah.
Biscuit like a... What does that mean?
I don't know.
Biscuit around the speedboat.
I don't know. I was just like, I don't know what that means. And then she's like, and we could frolic in a thing, and then we could like read poetry to each other under stars. I'm like, is this like a romantic thing?
She was like, so you've been messaged by a serial killer.
Every day, it was like paragraphs every day of all these things that we could do together, and I'm just like, yeah, I don't think I'm interested.
No thanks.
So I was just like, well, thank you, but thanks for the support, but gotta go. And then I finally just had to like block her, but you know the weird message. There's just so many.
Oh yeah.
Chris on the live chat asks, what strategy would you use with handing over that express pass? Give it to a strong team or a weak team?
This is a good question, actually.
See, what's hard when I think about our season is really we didn't have a weak team.
Well,
us.
No, but you guys aren't a weak team, though. You were not a weak team because you made it as far as you did, and you always came out. Like, it was like, no, like, Blair and I just knew, like, you guys would pull through. Like, every time we're like, oh, they're going to make it. Oh, they're going to make it. Because you guys just had, like, the will about you. Where there's a will, there's a way, and you just made it through. Like, Monaco, I mean, getting on the plane. Like, and think about this, too. When we had those first two bad legs in Japan, when we started off, like, mud run, and we're on the struggle plane, then, the third leg, you guys got first, and we had second. Because we just...
Yeah. Kept on fighting.
Yeah, we did. So, I mean... That's the thing. You guys were not the weak team. That would make me mad too. Because they're like they're the weak team. It's like, no, actually.
Tyler called us the weak team. I didn't even know he did that. I was like, thanks, Tyler.
He talks a lot of crap about everybody. Like, yeah, I wasn't. Once I watched it, I was kind of like, yeah, I'm not really impressed with Tyler and his little attitude. Just being honest.
So yeah, what do you think on that express pass? What is your weak team, strong team?
I mean, why? Let's think here though. Why would you give it to a strong team?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you'd figure if it's used. My thinking would be you give it to a strong team because if it's used, you have to use it by the fifth leg. There's still a lot of teams in the race. There's probably going to be a non-elimination before the fifth leg. So if you give it to a strong team that you know is probably, whether they have it or not, going to come in first. I mean, that's like, you have to give it to somebody. So if you give it to a weak team, that's like letting them live another day. They're really going to make the most of it. But a strong team, they're probably going to stay in the front of the pack no matter what, unless there's a freak accident like the Olympians.
But why would you want, like, I'd rather take out a strong team. Like,
I mean, you're not going to... The strategy would be you're not taking out anybody. You're helping
that's
someone.
True, that's true, I guess.
So,
yeah,
like...
That's true, because if you give it to them, because if it's a stronger team, then they're not going to need it.
Yeah, they're not going to need it, so let them waste it.
Yeah.
Because they have to use the next leg.
I get your strategy. I get it.
Yeah. And then, like, in our case, like, if somebody, just in one of the legs, like, say, leg 4 in Bangkok, and we were towards the end of the pack, if somebody would have gave us an express pass there for the detour or whatever, boom, we would have been in and out, and we could have been first, second, whatever.
I would have probably just given it to the team I like.
Oh, yeah.
I like you, okay, here.
Just be like, Blair and I would be like, okay, why don't you go to Mike and Rochelle? Because you guys were, you were like our favorite, so we were like, okay, no problem, we'll just you're our friend. Because that's the thing is, like,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's another thing too with a strong team is like if there's a U-turn, chances are a strong team's going to get there first to get to the U-turn board, and if you've helped them with an express pass,
they might not be there first.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, no, they'll be there first, but they're not going to U-turn the team that gave them the express pass.
Oh.
You know, so I mean, it's a double. I would definitely go to a strong team.
I would just see whoever I like.
Yeah, I would give it to Haley.
We would be girls about it, and we'd be like, here.
I would be like, who wants to pay me the most money?
Yeah, if you win.
Express pass in my fanny pack.
Someone asked any location you wish you could have visited during the season.
Oh my god! Now I want to go everywhere.
Wow.
I wish we would have went to Iceland.
That would have been awesome.
You know, we were November to December, so Northern Lights kind of is predominant. Then you can see the Northern Lights a lot. Then been like in those like little hot springs and stuff. That would have been pretty cool.
I would have loved to go to either Australia or probably Ireland. Would have been really cool.
Oh yeah.
Okay, and I guess we got one more question.
He's trying to kick us off.
I'm not trying to kick us off. I just don't want a super long podcast. We can hang out off later on, but as far as streaming, I guess the last question from a live chat: are team alliances an important thing? Our season really didn't have them.
I don't think in the Amazing Race as much, personally.
No, I think you need alliances in like Big Brother and Survivor, but Amazing Race, it's kind of hard to have an alliance because it's not like you can do the task for the other team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you can help each other with flights, but
There's certain things where it will help, but it's not as much, like, it's a somewhat social game, but really, like, certain circumstances, like, you know, like U-turns and stuff. It's important to be on well terms with other teams. But the strategy isn't the same as Big Brother or, like, Survivor.
I think if they implemented more, like, if they maybe did 3 or 4 U-turns a season, and maybe something like this Express Pass thing they're doing. So I don't know if they're heading towards the route where they want more teams to interact and it's form alliances and stuff like that. You know, but if they throw more things like, oh, you have to give this to a team and they have to use it, or there's going to be more U-turns, then alliances are awesome.
Really cool to see like more of a social game like that though on the Amazing Race. Like, I think it would be sweet if like you could evict a team just like in the middle of the season or something.
Or like if you had to like say for like a leg you had to like switch partners or something.
That would be awesome.
Wouldn't that be so fun? Like,
yeah.
You'd be like, okay, you guys have to switch it up, and then so you really do have to work with that team because you still have to, you know, like pull ahead. I don't know, and then like the last team, like so say Mike and Blair got paired and you and Rochelle got paired up, and then me and Rochelle got first, but then you and Blair got last.
Me and you would get first.
And then Blair might get last, then we would have to go back with our original partners and then like do like a detour.
Oh, that would be cool, yeah.
Or all the teams switch up. Like every team has to switch partners, and then the team that gets last, no matter who it is, it's a double elimination.
Oh.
So like you and Rochelle get first, and Blair and I get last, and since we got last, even if you got first, you're voted out too. You're gone
and
too.
It would kill you.
Oh yeah, I can imagine. But all right, I guess we're gonna start signing off the live stream. Haley,
Yay,
we
that's so fun.
really appreciate you.
We're gonna have you back.
Yeah, anytime.
Yeah, if Spencer and McCrae want us to keep doing this, and hopefully they enjoyed this first podcast.
Hopefully don't fire us after the first podcast. Mike and Rochelle, you have been eliminated from On the Blog Network.
Mike and Rochelle, I'm sorry to tell you, you've been eliminated from the race.
Is there anything you want to promote? Your Twitter, Instagram, anything you got coming up?
Just follow me on. I'm not really that active on Twitter, but I'm going to start, especially during the episodes.
Yeah.
And I post on my Instagram a lot. It's not really that exciting, but you never know what's going to pop up on there. You might find some good pics from a couple throwbacks from the race or from our Rochelle's birthday celebration. That was fun.
That was fun. That was so fun.
Yeah, that was fun.
We need a reunion, by the way, very soon.
We do. I need to get Blair, like...
We need Blair. I miss Blair so much.
I miss him all the time.
I know. I
Let's
want to
start
see it.
planning. Let's plan I don't know, camping weekend next spring or something.
We'll go on his boat. We'll go live on the boat.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's go on Blair's boat.
Blair's
Hey, Blair. We're coming on your boat.
It's like always broken down and stuff.
That's fine.
Mike and I will probably sink Blair's boat, but
More of a stream in the middle of the ocean.
Oh, great.
Like Blair paddling.
It sounds like a great time.
It does, but it was so fun. Guys.
Yeah, thanks again. You can tune in every week. We're going to be live Fridays at 10:30 Eastern Time for the pit stop. Right after the Amazing Race, we're going to recap episodes, have special guests on, hoping to get some racers from this season if that's possible.
And let us know. Like, we haven't booked our next, we haven't booked our next guest. So let us know who you want to see on here. Maybe we can get them on.
Yeah, you can pop it up in the live chat. You can also add us on Twitter at Mikey0, MikeyZero. Oh, MikeyZeroe. Let me get I just want my Twitter out here. MikeyZeroe. Mikey Zero at Rochelle DeVille. Do you want to?
I don't worry about my Twitter. You can follow me on Instagram at my name is Rochelle.
And where we really want everybody to visit.
Huh? My Instagram?
Oh yeah,
What's
yeah.
your
You never
Instagram?
gave us our handles. We need your handle.
Let's see your handles.
It's just HAYLEYANNRN. My name, Alien, and I'm a nurse, so RN.
There you go. Follow Haley, follow Rochelle, follow me, and like Team Truck Stop Love on Facebook. You can see the link right down there.
And at 1,000 likes, we're going to release some of our casting videos, which are, like, literally the most embarrassing things ever. So please don't make us do that.
And also subscribe to this YouTube channel, On the Block Pod. And there's going to be great podcasts from Spencer and McCrae covering Big Brother.
Dawson.
Max Dawson. She's a homeboy. Dawson. Max Dawson, Survivor with All the Fixins on Thursdays. And us, The Pit Stop with Team Truck Stop Love. Fridays at 10:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Thank you, everybody, for signing in, whatever you guys do nowadays. And thank you, Haley, for being our first guest.
Thank you, Haley.
So
And,
much fun.
well, thank you very much. So, bye, everybody.